we're back.
Very
Hi.
catchy music.
Hello.
How's everybody doing? This is about halfway through. I think this is pretty close to halfway through. So, how's everybody doing? We had almost everybody not working a typical work day today across the globe. So, we have a lot of interesting stats. Darren, where are we at with stats?
Just give me 2 seconds.
No problem.
41,196 so far.
There we go. That's pretty good. I think that's pretty good. And Emma had looked earlier and said that we have about maybe 100 less people than last time. So we're doing really well. We're keeping going. How are you guys doing out there? And thank you for joining us on this Hangout. Just a reminder, Hangouts are shorter. So this one's going to be about 10 minutes, 12 minutes long. But thank you for joining us and thanks for taking a break. A lot of you that have been stuck to your computer, stuck to your chair, this is a good time to stretch, get something to drink, get something to eat, say hello to family, pet the cat, pet the dog, however you want to do it. And there we go. I like this. I'm on a roll.
Drink water, not just coffee.
And I like that. Needed a break. And, Amanda, this is interesting because we were kind of talking about this before. This thon for me and for us, I think, has a little bit different vibe. We're researching a little bit more, looking at things a little bit more carefully and moving a little slower. It's not the super, super fast pace. And it's enjoyable. We like that. And thank you. Now, D is in Augusta, where the Masters is being played, and a full pink moon at Midnight Madness tonight. That's pretty cool. And a lot of you are working on CC7. I need to do that. I should do that. I know a few people are working on notables, improving notables, and some people are working on helping others increase their CC7 and working more tonight. And Victor, I think you won a prize today. So congratulations. I think I looked at the list and won a prize. So since we're talking about that, what is the word to win a prize? If you've won a prize in the last 6 months with anything on WikiTree, please don't type this word in. Let's make it fair and give everybody a chance to win. And the word is rank. R-A-N-K. Why are we talking about rank? So if you remember, Chris Wooden put out something around December talking about rank and how to improve profiles, profile improvement, profile completeness. And rank allows us to see maybe some of the profiles that we need a little help with to make them a little bit better. And I've got a really great example here. So let me bring it up on screen. This is just a real basic profile. It does have, thankfully, it does have dates and locations on it, but it's kind of slow. It's kind of a little bit low in the rank. We could add spouse and children, but we could also add a biography and some other things. So I've asked those in the studio here, and I'm going to ask you guys what you do as well to improve on profiles. So I asked everybody to think of a tip. And while we do that, there is this WikiTreeer out there named Eric Stamper, and he created a profile completeness map that shows all the different things that you could add to a profile to improve it. So while that's up, I'm going to go to Chris first. And Chris, what tip would you give to improve a profile that you might have or working on?
Pictures. Gotta be pictures. You gotta put a face to the name. Otherwise, it's kind of boring. I mean, but once you get to a certain point in the past, you're not gonna be able to see, photographs, obviously. But you can always get like maybe, I don't know, something in the background, like maybe you pick like a map or something, or I don't want to say like a guy holding a Revolutionary War era musket because those are lame. But you could just kind of spruce it up with like maps from like that time period, maybe something like that.
That's a really good idea because you can also link to, like Wikipedia, maybe the town if
Yeah.
you want to have people can click on. And I just want to interject real quickly that Azure does this wonderful thing every month. It's called Link Builders, and it's on a Zoom, and you can jump in the Link Builders meeting with Azure and just hang out, or if you have questions about WikiTree, linking, Ambassadors Project, helping to improve profiles, then definitely jump into the Link Builder Zoom. It's a really cool thing. She sits there and she'll answer every question that you have that she can answer about WikiTree. And what you really want to do is you want to have a link, as we already know, if we have a link from, let's say, family search on a profile, which most of us do, go ahead and add that WikiTree link over on the family search profile. So now you just link build. You run back and forth. So that's pretty cool as well. Okay. Emma, what do you think?
Locations, location. Because if you don't have locations on your profiles, people aren't going to be able to find who they're looking for. They're usually typing in a name and a location if they're doing a Google search. I've seen entire trees with no locations on anybody.
Hmm.
And that tree could be from China, Australia, Virginia. Like nobody has it. It loses its context completely. So, and don't just put WV for West Virginia. Spell it out.
I
West
agree.
Virginia, because people aren't going to type in WV, they're going to be typing in West Virginia. Think about, what are people typing in Google to look for their ancestors? SEO and keywords works with our profiles too. So if we have more things on the profile that people are looking for, then they're going to be able to come find their ancestors, their cousins, whoever they're looking for a lot more easily.
It's so true because a lot of us, and I'll just go ahead and use myself as an example. So being American centric, I might know what WV means, but somebody outside the country or somebody who's not familiar with, all the abbreviations that we have might not. And, if you spell it out, but if you don't have those locations, as Emma said, the chances of duplicates happen. And then that just becomes a nightmare. That, especially if you have some common names. And I believe it was Stephen who said merge duplicates. That's a good tip. That's a very good tip. And Darren, what about you?
Uh, include any pet you can on a profile. So if you've got, say, someone who is a butcher, include that in the profile. Add the category if there's a category for it. Okay? So, because it's so often that your families stay in the same jobs, or they may have interacted with someone in that job, and it's like a lot easier if you're sorry, if you have all the information there, and that's more likely that it's going to be found in search engines. Well, the information's there. Let's have a look.
I agree. And it just kind of reminds me too of where when we did bingo, we had a grocery bingo, and Darren gave us one from your area of New Zealand, and the family came over to be a grocer. And then it continued within their family. And that's kind of what you were saying, if add that category, their occupation, because somebody might, if we take Emma's suggestion and say somebody might say, I'm looking for Joe Smith in West Virginia, who was a butcher, and then take Darren's thing, then there's a really, really good chance that profile will come up. And why is this important? Well, we do want Google to find us, right? We want more people to join us and help. But this is cousin bait as well. If you have brick walls or anything like that, and somebody might have a Bible record that they never thought about digitizing. So if they find you from doing a simple Google search because of what you did on a profile, then you can start a conversation. And that really, really helps. We do have a couple other suggestions. So Anne mentioned backgrounds as well. I know some people use maps for that, as Chris mentioned. And let's see. Victor, if you know they didn't marry and have kids, I click those. That's a good idea too, because that also helps prevent duplicates and it won't show up in those duplicates if you're adding kids. That's a very, very good idea. It's kind of like a shortcut too to keep on going by. Amanda, I've got yours as well. I'm gonna and Lynn, I'm gonna show you guys where to find your rank in just a minute. When looking at Social Security sources, the death event location where they died or where their death certificate was filed, usually it's where the last check was mailed. So in the U.S., it's the funeral homes that send in the final death notice to the Social Security Department. So, the funeral home could be, in a different state even, or if somebody died out of state from where they live. So usually the Social Security source is the last check that was mailed to that location. So it's kind of tricky to use that location a lot. And I agree with this. Middle names are important, especially if you have those really common names. We talk about the Smiths and everything as well. So that's really important to do.
Some cultures don't even use middle names.
That's in Europe, you don't use the middle name field at all, right? You pretty much use
sometimes you don't. It just depends, really.
And Flo from Germany, the abbreviations might mean completely different things to other people. That's a very good point. I hadn't thought about that. So that's a very, very good point. We might use like Nevada or something like that, and that might mean something completely different to somebody in a different country. And let's see, Mel, if you're not Australian but adding Australian profiles using Find a Grave as a source, do not use the Find a Grave locations. It's a good tip.
Because they're wonky.
and this is a good tip as well, because a lot of times people will use that Find a Grave death location as that Social Security location, which is not always true. So definitely look for a source. Find a Grave as a source of where they're buried. But I like Mel's tip because it's not necessarily a source of where they were born or died. It's usually not there. So let's see. Acronyms are different, as Flo mentioned, and thank you, Marty, for saying this too. I know place names in Western Australia and also Washington State in the United States. So very cool ideas that you guys are coming up with too. One thing that always comes up, should I type US, USA, or the full thing? I think Alesh has it programmed in, will recognize all three as the same place. So that one comes up a lot.
No one agrees on that one.
Yeah. I like to use, I really like to use stickers as well. I like to use categories. I'm huge on categories. And this is probably the biggest tip for cousin bait: research notes, especially if somebody is easily conflated. And with the U.S. Southern Colonies project, we use research notes a lot in detail. Don't just say this John Smith could be confused with this John Smith. Give a lot of details. If both of them are on WikiTree, link them as well. There's a special template to do that. It's really helpful when somebody is coming in cold and researching. It's just really, really helpful. We all like that when we can see everything right there and click and get to the source. If you're leaving photos, when you upload the photo, if you have a link to it, say you borrow a photo from Wikipedia, for example, leave the actual link on that photo page so people can click on it and find it. That's also really helpful. You guys are giving really good tips out here. And here we go. If you don't have the photo or painting of someone, you could snip their signature. I have done that for my great-grandparents as well. I think that's really cool to do. It just makes the profile a little bit more personal. I don't know about you guys, but when you come into a profile, as Chris said, if it's all kind of text, you're there. But if you're adding some stickers, some categories, and some photos, you're going to pause. You're going to think about it. And I will tell you that I really like Emma's stickers for USBH because in some of the areas I researched, the names are the same because they took the names from their plantation owners. And you putting that sticker there automatically tells me, okay, this is going to be an African American. And if I'm not looking for that, then I know that this is not going to be a conflated profile. So that's really good as well.
Yeah. You should also saw someone mentioning about the using the UK and all that name stuff. That's true for Canada, but for Italy, you kind of just have to use just Italy because of all the history involved. We just make it simple in the Italy project. Just put Italy, the town, the
Yeah.
reason, like the current town name, because history's got some complications going on. Like it was the Kingdom of Naples for like 5 minutes. Then it was like fire.
And and Mel brings up another good point. So headers, if you just have a header, they died in West Virginia in 1912, I would not make a header for death. But if you could give details on what happened, maybe they had a long illness and you're explaining something and you're going to give the details of their death, their obit, their burial, then that's worthy of a header. Google likes headers as well. Newspaper articles, love them. Definitely love them and link them. Thanks, Sue, for doing that too. So that's really handy too. I was waiting for you, Kathy. I was waiting for you. Do not use UK, United Kingdom before 1801, and United States in every form before 1776 in Northern Ireland before 1921. And I don't know about you guys, but I run into presidents' names all the time. You know, all the time. The first and middle name is going to be a president, and then their last name might be something else. So you guys are really giving a good idea. I wonder if categories would be used more if the list of categories are broken down first, like occupation, and then alphabetical within it. That's a good question. I don't know. I'm addicted to categories. What about you guys? Do you like using categories?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Need them.
I use categories all the time.
Categories help us find what we're looking for a lot faster.
Yeah.
And to group people based on different criteria.
I like it. Yeah, it's like a file cabinet where you're grouping people. I do like that. Clean up JAGCOMs if you see them. The headers and the kind of googly stuff that it doesn't help. Just clean up JAGCOMs if you see them. That really helps. And do not use Germany before 1871.
Yeah.
And I was waiting for this, Lisa. Thank you, because Lisa educated me on this.
Yeah.
In Canada before 1876. Wow, you guys are really awesome for pointing this out. Thank you. Lisa actually pointed this out. I'll never forget. We were on a Zoom, maybe a rock Zoom, and Lisa, I was working on a Canadian profile. She goes,
now I feel like the odd man out because we used to use Italy for everything because of history and all that stuff.
And then, and so during bingo in 2023, I had the PCs, the ladies from Poland, and this was kind of interesting. Poland wasn't a country for several years, so you can't use Poland then. So, and I love stories too. So if you have a story, that you can tell, then tell the story. Be very, this is interesting because there is some stigma. So if you have a story that might be a little tricky and triggering, be careful how you word it. Maybe word it in a very short sentence, who the parent was, so it looks like maybe they were an MPE, if you know.
Was a Rolling Stone.
But keep in mind that there are living people, that are going to maybe look at this as well. So, and the cleanathon, they decide not to do it again, but I like Aowen's words, never say never, but it's not on the schedule this year. So that was
NJ Hill brings up a good point. How do you know what the country's found? Go to the project. Most of them have got somewhere on the project pages what to use. So, like for Chris, there'll be somewhere that says use Italy all the time. For For the US, it'll be don't use US before then.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
or the Quebec
look at your
Law
project.
Project has like 6 different criteria, so I just go to their project page every time because I can never remember, and it will tell me, okay, if it's this time period, use this location
Yeah.
name.
I do too. I do that too. Okay, so let me go through a couple questions that you guys had real quick. Is it an idea to add some award for completeness on profiles? There is not. The only thing that I can think of as far as award would be Emma's Platinum award that you have, and Notables has a new Golden Branches for that's for Notables. Emma, is yours for Notables as well?
Yeah, ours is just for notables right now because it's going to take a long time just to get through the notables. But maybe after that, we'll, who knows? Maybe we'll move on to everybody.
And let's answer this. So, can you tell where the rank is? And don't worry, Amanda, you can type rank as much as you'd like because it's only going to count once that you type. So, there is a way to do it. So, you need to go to WikiTree Plus, WikiTree Plus. You're going to come down to the search where it says here search and text search and hit me up. I'll hang out over in the Discord for the thon, the general thon. If anybody wants the link, I can put a link there too. But the text search, and all you're going to do is just type in your WikiTree ID, and it will bring up all your profiles depending on how many you have. I just put in 5,000, so I did this little search beforehand, and it brought up all the profiles that I manage. And if you scroll all the way down to the bottom of this list, there's a small little thing called group field right here. And this is how I do it. There might be a different way to do it, but this is how I do it. In the Dropbox, take the Dropbox, go all the way down to the very bottom, and it says rank. And then click show. And let me expand this up a little bit. And that shows the ranking. So there are, for level 2, there are 6, and I'll explain the levels in just a second. So these all need improved, and I bet you if you look at them, you can probably easily tell why they need improved. So there's nothing here, really. This could need a nice biography. I like Chris's idea of using pictures, adding pictures if you have it, and adding categories. Please tell me, Sam, it doesn't have a death date in place. That would be very handy, as Emma mentioned, and the categories, as Darren mentioned. So this is kind of a basic one that I don't know if anybody's really going to pick up on at all. And just so you guys know, I will drop the link here in the chat. There we go. And it's just a help page. So you can find this on a WikiTree help page. And just as Chris Whitten had said, it's just a contact rank is basically used to find profiles that need that attention and to also give you ideas for improving them. As you scroll down, you can see what the rank is, how the rank weights, and things like that. That's a whole different discussion that would take a while to go over. So at your own time, feel free to look at it. And it talks about locations, number of relatives. If you have DNA confirmations, make sure you use the DNA confirmation statements, things like that you have. Categories, external links. And I can't stress enough, definitely if you have any questions about this, and also linking from other places outside of WikiTree, because that's really important that we link outside of WikiTree, definitely go to one of Azure's monthly link builders. She usually has it one day a week, and she tries to accommodate everybody by having it earlier and also later in the afternoon. Okay, if you guys are ready, we're going to go ahead and do the drawing. I think I kept you guys after school a little bit too much. So let's go ahead and do the drawing one last time to type in rank. And while we're doing this, Carol, I would love to wish you a very, very happy birthday. Here we go. Okay. who's going to win? Who's going to win? And it always goes
Happy birthday, Carol.
hesitation. And then it comes up, Sam Castor. Congratulations, Sam. You are the winner of the prize. And what is the prize? A1 will get in touch with you and let you know it won't be tonight, it won't be today, tomorrow, anything like that. Let her get through the thon and get some sleep. But she will get in touch with you and let you know what the prize is, how to claim the prize. I think most people are doing mugs. Hillary last night had a really cool notepad, though. That was really cool. So congratulations. Just sit back and wait for A1 to contact you. Okay, guys. Any other tips? Are we good?
Be good.
Yeah, thank you, A1. What is sleep? A1, when you find out, you let me know. And thanks, Amanda. Hit the thumbs up. Okay, guys, get back to thawing, and we will see you at
midnight.
There we go.
Good.
Thanks, Chris. Bye, guys.
Bye.